Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. As always, I'm late trying to pull up information for you guys. Miss Pratt's in the house. Good evening to you. Eva, good evening to you. Hampton, thank you for tuning in as well. Good evening. Just a second. Don't leave. Don't move. Go, go. Good evening. Welcome. Bennett, welcome. Rose Maxine, good evening to you. Nashville, Tennessee is in the house. Good evening, Nashville. Good evening, Tracy Taylor. Harold, good evening to you. Randolph, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. There's Miss Chapman. Good evening. I'm trying to find a piece that I had wrote earlier about Harvey Weinstein. A Powers, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Bennett, how are you? Houston, Texas. I still got friends in Houston. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? He done burn it. Okay, while we're waiting on this to pop up, and hopefully it will, we have at least two or three stories that we want to speak with you all about tonight. Hope and trust everyone had a great weekend. I got a chance to relax some. To God be the glory for that, because that doesn't happen often. We tonight, I think last week, spent 5 hours on the show last week, and as always, she was awesome, super, fantastic. She keeps it real, 100%. So I have invited her back tonight, so she's with us as well, and you'll hear from her very, very soon. Uh, Before we get to spin fire, we are going to address the coronavirus. Sure, by now, many of you know the World Health Organization has declared the coronavirus a pandemic. Um, and it's going to get extremely worse before it gets better. The stats I did was taken at 6:53 this evening. There are a total of 126,054 uh, people infected with the disease. The United States has a total of 1,301, and there are 307 new cases in the United States. The United States has a total of 38 deaths. Those that have recovered from the coronavirus stands at 67,057. Total deaths right now is 4,616. We were given the alarm up front that the coronavirus was going to interrupt our lives, and that is exactly what it's doing. Many events that have been scheduled long, long time ago are now being canceled. A lot of events that uh, have like 1,000 or more people are being canceled. I think Washington D.C., if it's 200 or more, a lot of those events are being canceled. A lot of schools are closing and offering students on online courses. to take while the schools are being disinfected to get things back to normal. But normalcy will be a ways off. This has become the norm, the coronavirus. If you're not taking it serious, trust me, you need to, because it is spreading extremely fast. Experts said it is spreading faster than they thought it would spread. This is not to be taken lightly by any means necessary. Many people are dying from this, and we have to keep in mind that some people have the virus, may not have any symptoms at all. It is imperative. It is imperative that you do not shake hands. Don't do the elbow. Don't do it. If there's an event that you've been wanting to go to, I know you hate to miss it, but it's a matter of life and death. So some things you're going to have to miss to save your life, protect you and your family. I put a note on the mailbox. I told the mailman, don't leave me no damn mail because I'm not touching it. So if the bill's in there, we'll never know about it. Because it's getting scary. It's getting scary when you have New York City has called in the National Guard, and I look for other governors to do that as well. The NCAA tournament has been canceled. Well, no, they will play without fans in attendance. The governor of Kentucky urges churchgoers to cancel church services. Now, here's where the problem comes in at with church and the coronavirus. There was a lady on my Facebook page. Whenever I would post on the coronavirus, she would always come behind me and say, we are protected under the blood of Jesus. By his stripes, we are healed. We went through this, I think, last week. There's a very, very thin line between faith and foolishness. It's just that damn simple. There's a very thin line between faith and foolishness. Heed the warnings. Told you last week about the couple that had a child that needed insulin. The dad's a minister. He said, no, I'm standing on the word of God. By his stripes, my son is healed. The child continued to get worse. The mother said, please let me give him his insulin. He said no. Long story short, the child died and they went to prison. Faith and foolishness are not related. It's just as simple as that. Don't let your religious belief cause you to lay in a goddamn casket or your family. It's just, don't go overboard with it. If you need to see a doctor, then by all means, you must go and see a doctor. So if they're telling you to cancel church services, if they're on CNN and they're interrupting your daily shows every 30 minutes, this is a serious crisis globally now. This is global. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. Louisiana now have their cases. I think New Orleans has a total of 6, I think. Shreveport, Louisiana, right now, 0. But of course, that could change at any minute. So, whatever the Centers for Disease Control says and the World Health Organization, I think we all can listen to them and trust them because they've been doing this for decades and decades, okay? So, and I'm not just trying to be ugly about Donald Trump, but don't you believe a goddamn thing that comes from out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, because everybody in their lives, everybody. And I understand it's going to have a serious economic impact globally. I understand that. But as I'm waiting for him to speak the other night on the coronavirus, he comes out, and he wasn't scheduled to speak, but he comes out saying, we're going to give you a tax break. Okay, that's fine, Danny, but we're talking about the health right now. Let's deal with that. And that other shit there, we'll deal with that later on. This is not about politics. Trump is thinking about approval ratings and re-election. So that's why he's coming out with all the tax breaking. We're gonna take care of this here. We're gonna make sure we're gonna reimburse businesses that said they didn't want to pay you. Now they'll pay you because we're gonna pay them. This is not about politics. This is not a joke. This is not a hoax. The coronavirus is real. It's real. And people are getting sick and people are dying. This, I don't know where the shit come from, but there is a post going around that has went viral that if you snort cocaine, it will cure the coronavirus. That's a goddamn lie. If you just want to get high, just go get fucking high. That's not going to cure the coronavirus. It's not. And when I read, I'm like, this is bullshit. This cannot be true. But it's true. That's been floating around. This is not a black person's disease. The white man created this to knock black people off the planet. Well, it's taking his own goddamn time to get into black people, you know what I mean? Because it's just knocking whites and other ones off the goddamn map. Everything is not about population control, especially when it comes to black people. The same thing went around when HIV came out. Oh, it's a man-made disease. You're trying to kill all the black people. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit. But people will believe a lie before they believe the truth. So again, pay attention to what the Centers for Disease Control is saying, and the World Health Organization says as well. They've been doing this for decades. Don't listen to the White House. I heard Vince say yesterday, it's dying down. I don't know what fucking country he lives in, but it's not dying down. I cannot respect you when you come before the American people and you put politics before their health and you lie so they'll think you're doing a great job. We have everything under control. Well, why is all these people fucking dying if y'all got everything under fucking control? Why they dying? It's not under control. You can't control it. The CDC can't control it. World Health Organization cannot control it. How in the fuck can the White House control it? It's simple. Do the goddamn math. Trump is a clown. It's a joke. Something straight out of a goddamn comic book. I hate that son of a bitch with a severe passion. A lying son of a bitch. You care more about re-election than people's health. So pay attention to what others said. Don't listen to Donald Trump. But do expect some more events to be canceled. The nation's top doctor, here's what he said. By the time this thing is over 100 million Americans would have been infected. There are over 200 colleges and universities that have canceled classes. And Italy has just locked the whole goddamn country down. Nobody's coming in, nobody's going out. So you need to stock up on non-perishable food items and medication as well. I'm gonna bring. I want to get to the Evelyn Boswell thing, but let me bring my good friend in because she's on the line waiting, and I need help with this story. So, spitting fire.
What?
Something close to nothing. What's going on with you this evening?
No, nothing much. Hello, everybody in the chat. How y'all doing?
I'm glad. I'm overly excited that you said yes again, because you're my lifeline. And I need you sometimes to say shit that people say I say whatever comes to my mind. Well, that's a lie, because if I did, I'd be dead by now. You can come and say.
You said something a few minutes ago before we came on live.
What did I say?
And when you let's keep talking about it, and then I'm gonna remind you what you said.
Oh boy.
And you said, "Oh shit, I ain't think of that."
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
What's going on, J-Rock? Hey, what's going on? Hey, how y'all doing in the chat?
J-Rock's in the house. Oh, good evening. Good evening, J-Rock. Thank you as well. The story first broke in 2017. Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
A New York reporter first broke the story about dozens of women that had made allegations against Harvey Weinstein, everything from patting him on the ass to outright rape. And at that time, it was over 80 women women in the film industry that had made these allegations. Of course, Harvey Weinstein denied every last one of them and said each one was consensual sex. Well, we know that he was arrested in New York. I think was it February 14th. He was convicted, found guilty. I may not have the date right, but after he was found guilty, today, the 11th, was set aside for his sentencing in his conviction. Well, he was convicted and he was sentenced today to 23 years in prison.
Okay.
Now, Spitfire, I know we've talked about this. His attorneys have argued that that's a death sentence. He is 67 years old. He will die in prison. You cannot do this. They're going to appeal this. He was facing up to 29 years. We know that he still has criminal charges to face in California as well. Now, I'm okay with the sentence. It works for me. But talk to me. What do you got?
You know, me and you had some discussions, and it doesn't work for me.
Here we go.
It does not work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does not work for me. I'm just, you know, my thing is, people often say that I just always side with men and all this and that. And that's not true. That's not true. I don't always side with men. I just like everybody to be held responsible for shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I do, if he did these things, he should have been punished. And obviously, they thought that he did these things and would have been punished. But I don't know if they really thought that he did these things. Because you have to remember, the jury came back twice wrong.
Exactly.
And the judge made them go back. So when you keep making the jury go back, at that point, they're not trying to convict on evidence, but they're trying to satisfy the judge and the people of what the people want to hear. You get what I'm saying? They're not actually judging the man that's standing before them, and that's an issue. That's a really big issue with me when a jury come back home twice, and then on the third time, out of 5 charges, 3 he's not guilty. 2 he's guilty.
Mm-hmm.
1 is probational up to 5 years, and 1 is 23 years, 5 and 25 years. And out of that, you give him 23 years, although he has no priors and like that. So I just think that, people, Tom Beverly said it best. He was Michael Jackson attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And what he said was, judges and the legal system are in fear of the Me Too movement. And so they became fear of the movement. And so my thing is, okay, now we have, because see, the only reason why I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent, what I'm saying is the way the justice system is going about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We can't just say, okay, I believe he's guilty. It's not about you believe he's guilty. The jury came back home twice. They actually sat there and heard the evidence standing before them. They actually heard testimony. When we, as the people, is put into us, we have to see it on TV, and we only get bits and pieces of what the media feed us.
Exactly.
We don't actually hear all the testimony into which the people in the courtroom was able to hear. So we have to be careful with that, because we can all have our personal opinions about something because it was in the media. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We always have our personal opinions. But here's the thing. The media only tell you what they want you to know and hear.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta be careful when you just believe everything in the media. You get what I'm saying? So when you have a jury that comes back twice and says not guilty, and they're already home, because I don't understand what a home means. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's either guilty or not guilty. If you home, I put that on the not guilty side. Because obviously, if people took the stand, if they gave you testimony, if evidence was presented, shit like that because that could be he's somebody's son or child. No matter how ugly he is, how white he is, he still belongs to somebody. So you just think if we as black people, if he got 23 years, what do you think they're gonna do to us? When it comes down to putting black men in jail for rape with no evidence, the average person who can't afford an attorney. See, y'all have to watch what you say out here, even if you do believe he's guilty, because the one thing that white people got down pat is not to spew out things that they don't know. They let the law work. We as black people don't let the law work. We shot shit, we talk about shit, and we throw our own under the bus. When we were sitting up there advocating for men's rights, and we were talking about how wrong they were doing R. Kelly, he was in jail, how Weinstein not in jail, or whatever. Here's the thing. You didn't hear the news talk about Harvey Weinstein like they did R. Kelly. They said Harvey Weinstein made a mistake. They call R. Kelly a predator. You understand what I'm saying? These are the words that they use. They used accusers for Weinstein. They said R. Kelly's victim. You have to understand something. We are not equal in the law. You steal, all black people, you steal 3/5 of a person. And if you don't understand what the 3/5 rule is, you need to look it up. Because it's a chart. It's a chart. And you got a white man at the top. You got the black man at the bottom. The white man is 5 of them. The black man is 3 of them. They're saying he's just only 3 of the 5 white men that's at the top. That's all his life is valued at.
Well, you know.
So when you don't show cultural obligation, even if you think somebody's guilty, if you don't show cultural obligation and stop spewing stuff out here to the universe and stop believing everything on the media, because you spoke on this last week, that we are the only culture that believe everything in the media. Besides somebody else you went to. We are the only culture that do that. Nobody shows cultural obligation anymore. Nobody. And that's a problem with black people, because until it happens to their son, then it'll start marching in the street. But you better nip this shit in the bud. This Me Too movement is not for your black ass. I keep trying to tell you. Even if you think a motherfucker guilty, sometimes you gotta ride with the bad to sit up there and get respected. That's been the way it's been since the beginning of the time. Exactly. There's a whole lot of monsters out there. It used to be a time you take them in the basement, you kick their goddamn ass. You kick the monster out of there. Then we go out in the community and we know somebody gonna get fucked up if he touch something. Now, we as black people, we have to prosecute our own.
You know, Charlotte Bennett said that convicted without any physical evidence. And that's always a problem with me when it comes to an alleged victim blowing the whistle 15 or 20 years later, because I don't know what kind of physical evidence you can have other than you opening your damn mouth and say, he raped me, he did this, or he did that. And I agree with everything that you were saying, especially the part about how the media, blacks, we're the only race. We believe the media, local media and mainstream media, than any other race on planet Earth. We believe them. And simply because we have been programmed, the media has been basically all white till recently. And so whatever the white man says is right. They're not going to put something out in the public, and it's not true. But when you look at R. Kelly, and I think they stopped doing it. When Gayle King and others would speak about R. Kelly, they would always speak about victims. That's the word they use, victim. Don't believe me? Pull it up, victims. Now, when they would speak about Harvey Weinstein, well, we're going to paint R. Kelly out to be a monster. And so we'll call them victims, but they did not do that with Harvey Weinstein. And I noticed today that Gayle was not on CBS this morning. Gayle has today off. Well, I kind of figured she would take today off and stuff, but she didn't want to speak on Harvey Weinstein, because she run the damn show there. for the CBS Morning. So, Gail, you go sit down. You're in enough damn shit already, so we can't take no more. So, have a back seat. And the way we portray a person has a lot to do with how we see that person. Position determines perspective. What you see depends upon where you're standing. What irks me about a lot of people is when, as you just said, we only get very small pieces of information about a trial. So we don't know everything. But with that, we take that and we automatically know that this person is guilty.
Right.
And and that may not be the case. I still think he should have got more time. But I know you are with the attorneys when you said that was a little steep, that he shouldn't have received that much time. How much time do you think Harvey should have received?
I wasn't there, but I just think that I don't know. I just think that, to be honest with you, what? Actually, I do. I think that if they couldn't prove it, he should have gotten none. I just think that they could not prove rape. He should have gotten none. He should have actually beat the charges. I really do believe that he should have beat all the charges or whatever. Because I see a lady in your chat line said, how can alleged victims remember all details after so many years? Well, we're not saying that encounter didn't happen. You understand? We're just trying to identify what is rape and what is not. And why does she calls it rape and he doesn't. See, the thing of it is that sometimes when you tell the truth or whatever, it doesn't always mean it's going to be something you like. Mm-hmm. The truth is never something that you like. Reality is not even a lot of things that we like. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? But it's true. You know what I mean? So, like, say for instance, I'm going to say something. I said it many times, and I know people on your platform probably going to get upset when we say this. And that's not to bash any victims, because I'm all victims' rights. Don't get me wrong for that. I just believe that there are no reason to wait so many decades to come after these men. I just don't believe that. But what I'm going to say is this. We have a legal system here. We have a police department. We have all kinds of things here. We have people that get shot, and we call 911. There are people who were raped, and they call 911, and they made a police report right after it happened, and things like that. And they just describe the person if they could, or whatever. We have people that was molested and they do tell. So what about the people that actually do tell? What about the people that actually do go in and make a police report on rape? So we know that people do report these type of crimes. So for those who don't have the courage to do it, or for those of people who said they were ashamed to do it, I am sorry. Shame is the same as ignorance. There's no excuse in the law. We all have been ashamed of something at one point in time in our lives. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people and a lot of organizations that's out here that can help people that have been raped, molested, or any other type of abuse or sexual assault. So when we get into that and we say, okay, well, because they were ashamed, we're going to change these laws. Okay, well, what about me who made a damn right turn at the stop sign and nobody told me that they changed the law? But that ain't no goddamn excuse for me because I should have paid attention. Well, we know that there's been advocacy groups forever for rape victims or whatever. So even though we give them a lot of time, we give them many years to sit up there and complain about and go back and tell. I think it was 10, 20 years from 18 before. So before the age of 18, you had up to the age of 18 plus 20 years to say something that somebody raped you. Now, if that ain't enough goddamn time, I don't know what is.
Come on with it.
So now, my thing is, you might get ripped off the statute of limitations on rape, period, like a murder, and they ain't got to say a damn thing, and they can just come back and say, you raped me, okay, and then I can sue you for your money. But when I sue you for your money, then it's all good. I'm not going to press no charges. So to me, that's like, okay, like, is that rape or is that prostitution? I mean, you got to ask these things because 75% of the women with Harvey Weinstein took a check. He had a $44 million. They divided it by the 75 conviction or whatever, or sentencing or whatever. But my thing is, people don't want to sit up there and take the responsibility of knowing that shame of the law or feeling shamed or whatever, or ignorance of the law, and all this other stuff is no excuse for not coming forward. Because now there's other people, you claim you're a victim, there's other people who become victims all because you didn't say anything. So my thing is, I just don't think that they should have lifted the statute of limitations no way. Because now women going to abuse that. Now you're going to see people 20 and 30 years that you done broke up with, seeing you at the store or at the mall with your family, looking like the Brady Bunch. They mad because they been there and lonely. You know what I mean? So they're going to say you raped them. You don't even remember her motherfucking ass from 30 years ago. So next thing you know, she sat up there and ruined your life. Because all you need is an accusation and they'll come and arrest your ass. That means your job is lost.
Right.
That means income is lost. Your family is broken. All because one person said something. But what about your voice? What about a man's voice?
And I agree. Quickly, J-Rock says, and I assume he's talking about Gayle King, what a surprise, just like she wasn't there when Michael Avenatti was being interviewed about his charges. Exactly, because all these are friends, they hobnob together and stuff. But let me ask you this, Spitfire. If you take a settlement from the alleged predator, right? What does that do? I mean, how does that help the situation of you being raped or molested or sexually assaulted? How does that help?
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. At least I don't think it does. But honestly, to these women, it helped them because once money became into the factor, then they no longer was raped, I guess. So they took a check. See, going back to the shame thing. Here's the thing, and speaking of the money, I just find it with Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and some of these other ones, even with Kobe. I find it funny that a woman can scream rape, and then when the check is written, she's ashamed of rape. She's ashamed. She's ashamed she was raped, but when the check is written, she's screaming. I just find that, I just find it to be a little odd.
And I find it to be a little odd too, because if I've been raped, I mean, money, will pay bills or do whatever, but I just can't get the connection for taking the money, opposed to trying to make sure the individual goes to prison for what you are alleging he or she did to you. And then when you take the money, then you drop the case. I think that's a law that needs to be looked at as well, because and I'm not trying to offend any ladies that's on the live feed tonight, but if you've truly been raped, truly been sexually assaulted, I don't know a woman in her right mind would take the fucking money over having the individual go to prison for what they did, because I'm thinking you don't want this to happen to somebody else, right?
Right.
But you taking the money, shutting your mouth, doesn't assure that. When Linda Carter said, when R. Kelly allegedly did what he did to her about the head massage, she kept quiet. She kept quiet for years. So when she finally got on CBS this morning, she said, when they asked her, you have a gag order, you signed 2 contracts with R. Kelly, they paid you, and you're not supposed to ever bring up this again. Why are you out publicly speaking now? I'm paraphrasing. She said, well, I don't want another girl to have to go through what I went through. So for 15 goddamn years, she didn't give a fuck who went through. But now all of a sudden you care. It's not that she give a fuck right now. There was a day after Avenatti had been released after being arrested for trying to bribe Nike. And so what she has is a civil issue. You speaking out, we can take care of that. Don't worry about it. You go on and try to save my goddamn reputation. But again, the statute of limitations when it comes to reporting a sexual assault should be looked at, amended, and drastically reduced. You got these women alleging, Bill Cosby gave them a white pill. But all the damn women cannot be lying. Yes, they can. You know how many fucking times we heard the story about a goddamn white pill? So they can be lying. But here's my point. They can remember to a T what happened, what kind of car they was in, what sofa he had, what bed size he had, and the color of the linen on the goddamn bed. But if you ask these motherfuckers what the preacher preached about in church last Sunday, baby, you know my mind's I just can't remember. I'm getting old. It makes no damn sense. I mean, you should not be allowed. It's not that you want a predator or a perpetrator to get away with committing crimes. It just should not take 10, 15, 20 years for you to say, I'm no longer ashamed, and now I don't want it to happen to nobody else. I just think that's just unfucking fair because
that's what I'm saying. Like, you messing with other people's lives as well. Right. You messing with other people's lives too. Like, here's the thing. People, like, I'm looking at the check, and people are like, well, I think he's guilty. See, that's the problem. You know, we can't say, okay, well, Kelly may not be guilty, but Harvey Weinstein guilty because he's white and he's not as attractive. No. He's a man. He is a man. You understand what I'm saying? And Robert Kelly is a man. So what we don't want to do is this, and I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. You got to take a look at this. Like, one of the ladies said, okay, I believe he's guilty. Okay, now what if I told you, the person in the chat, what if I told you that I read one of the victims, the one that they ate up on the stand, right? They cross-examined and ate her ass up. She said, they showed the email to where she said she loved Harvey. She broke on her boyfriend. They had a sexual relationship. They were sexually involved with each other. She was talking all about their sex life. Her and Harvey Weinstein, right? Weinstein. So the defense said, did you write this email to him and wasn't this your letter? So she was going in talking about their love life, their sex life, all this and that. So what days are we supposed to figure out which day was rape and which days was consensual?
Come on.
So we have to understand that, people in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit up there and say you think somebody's guilty because they're ugly. I mean, I was a lot of that shit. Like, no, this is somebody's freedom here. And freedom is private. So you want to make sure that the facts and evidence points to them being guilty without a doubt. And to me, they didn't do that.
You know what?
To me, a man I believe he got something that he shouldn't have got. That's just personally my opinion, because I believe that if I'm guilty of something and they got the evidence to show some things and people testifying against me and this going in with the evidence, then I should go to jail and I was Harvey Weinstein. But if a jury, they cross-examine and the jury come back wrong twice, then you gotta second think. You can't just agree that he's guilty because you got it already set in your mind. You gotta be optimistic about somebody else's freedom in life.
You know,
that's all I'm saying.
Right. If it takes the jury a while, once the case is handed to them, and they have the evidence, they've heard the evidence, they've seen the evidence. We, the public, haven't. We haven't. And so I understand what you're saying, because I say it all the time as well. It will be immature to say guilty or innocent when you don't have none of the evidence that was presented in the courtroom. But because of the way the media portrays the individual, we go and we say, I think he did it. Okay, if you say you think he did it. So my question to you, why do you think he did it? He looks like it. He looks like he's a fucking rapist. Makes no goddamn sense. If it's hard for the court system to decide guilt or innocent, it should be extremely hard for the public who don't have any damn evidence to say guilty or innocent. And all we're fighting for when it comes to our system is due process of the law and justice on both ends.
That's right.
You know, just because you don't like him, that don't mean he's guilty. Just because someone raised their right hand in the courtroom and said he did this or he did that, does it mean it happened? Not necessarily. You have to prove that. But I think after 10, 15, 20 years, what fucking proof do you have that we can lay on the table and show the court that this is your physical evidence that this happened? The only physical evidence you can have is if you get on the damn table and bust your goddamn legs wide open and say, he went in here. You see my point?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can say it.
Right.
And so we must look at these laws because it's just too easy for anyone to come and tolerate. And as you just said, I can't sit here and decide, okay, y'all made love last night. I really believe you're right. He raped you Tuesday night, yeah, and then y'all made love again. I'm not gonna sit here and do this goddamn ridiculous bullshit.
Me either. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna decide. Even as a juror, I'm not gonna decide which days were rape and which days were consensual. You're not even going on. It's just out of your damn mind. I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna do the delivery room and argue with 11 other motherfuckers over it either. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm not. And see, here's another thing that was kind of questionable to me, that they didn't sequester the jury. So, which means they went home. They were told, don't be on social media. Don't discuss the case with family or friends. How many motherfuckers you think gonna really go? They may not get on social media because, you can find out they did, but just will not discuss it. Don't watch any news shows, especially when it's concerning Harvey Weinstein. So here's what happened. You go, you don't put them up in a hotel. They get to go home every day. They get to go home. So now pressure is building in the neighborhood. Now, I know you ain't gonna let them get away with it. So you got your neighbors and family in one ear, and you got the Me Too movement in the other ear. You see what I'm saying? So we can easily convict off of pressure alone. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
And
that makes perfect sense.
And so
because here's the thing, for me personally, a lot of these movements just became terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
They're not for people anymore. If you really look at the Me Too, I'm not a fan of the Me Too movement. Spitting Fire is not a fan of the Me Too movement.
Neither am I.
I'm not a fan of those movements because I just don't think with the Me Too movement, they have this saying that they help the little black girls in the neighborhood. Or they try to get those voices to little black girls. What she did was she took poor people's narratives of what they go through every day in life, whether it's rape, molestation, and everything else. And then she fed that shit to Hollywood. And they took that shit and ran with it. Because ain't nobody on the totem pole, on the low pole, been arrested for this Me Too shit. It's the ones with the money. And see, then she got mad because they stole it from her ass. And they went after Harvey Weinstein. Nobody want to stole her motherfucking damn idea and call it hashtag Me Too.
Exactly.
So my thing is, I don't like when you steal someone else's truth and make it your own for gain, because the poor people in the neighborhood, the little black girls that you say you're helping, they don't have no one to sue. They don't have no one to give money to, no one to give them help mentally. They don't have that. You know what I mean? And not only that, the organization Rain, and all the motherfuckers ain't donated to them. You stole a fucking narrative. You ain't donated to none of them. And what her ugly ass did, that Me Too lady, she went around and did a tour on all the college campuses, because these are the youngs that's going to vote. She's going to get to the young people, because young people easily to be persuaded. They believe everything in the media and everything on technology because of that's what they grew up with. You know what I'm saying? They just really out of touch with reality. So, or the thought process. So, my thing is, she went to these college tours. She didn't go to high schools. She didn't go around to middle schools because they weren't paying her ass. See, when I follow her ass, I was studying her ass. When the feature first kicked off, she was the average, I think she was working at a school or something with teachers or a counselor or something. And I followed her career. And I would always look up and see what she was worth. She had never had a network. And it was like maybe 18 months in, she worth $10 million. I said, bingo. I said, that's what we got now. Not that she's not supposed to get paid. I said, don't get me wrong, get your money by working your knees. But don't take people married up to get rich and not give to these people.
And so if the little black girl in the projects get raped by the guy in the projects, well, the guy in the projects is not rich at all, don't even have a fucking job. So that's the case we don't want to fool with. We want to fool with ones that we can get some money out of and get some major publicity, and that irks me as well as it irks you, because there's still no voice for the little black girl or the little black boy in the neighborhood.
Right, you stole like that, man. You could at least say, okay, well, the women that did get money from their damn creditors, we gonna donate this to this fund for the people in the neighborhood or something. She did shit. None of them did nothing. None of them even made the alleged creditors donate to these places in these poor areas. None of them. So, to me, I believe that, yes, it can be a bunch of women coming after one man and all of them can be lying. Yes, it can be. Do you think that all the people that's on that Johnson & Johnson big-ass lawsuit telling the damn truth? Hell no.
Exactly.
They can't decipher who lied and who not. So you got a company like Johnson & Johnson. You got Harvey Weinstein, who got the same amount of money as the motherfucker Johnson & Johnson. It's going to take a lot of women to take him down.
Exactly. You are 100% right on that. A few weeks ago, we heard about a 15-month-old girl in Tennessee. Her name was Evelyn Mae Boswell. Allegedly, the 15-month-old went missing in December. It was first said December 26th, then it went to December the 9th, December 8th, 10th, just kept changing. Basically, that was because of the child's mother, Maggie Boswell, who was not cooperating with authorities when on February the 18th, I think, her 15-month-old daughter was reported missing. But the child allegedly went missing in December of 2019. Now, when she was reported missing in 2020, it was not reported by her mother. It was reported by the grandmother that she haven't seen the child since Thanksgiving. That's the same thing her daddy said. Maggie Boswell cooperated with the police. Showed up for every meeting, every interview. But she continued to give them conflicting stories. Each time they spoke with her, and I read it a little before our time, she gave them a different story as to what happened or did happen to her daughter. She's told the father CPS had taken the child. She told neighbors and friends the daddy, who was stationed in Louisiana in the military, has the child. Well, then she said, no, I think the babysitter took the child. The babysitter says either it was November the 9th or 10th when I last saw Evelyn alive. Well, we know the babysitter didn't take her. We don't know where she's at. What we do know is that she's nowhere to be found. She can't drive herself. She can't ride a bike. She can't walk anywhere. Where in the hell could she be? Well, I know who took her, but I don't want to say that because I don't want to spook them because I trust them. Everything she said, not only Did it not make any sense? It was a damn lie. Uh, so the search was on. The award got up to, I think last I checked a couple of days ago, was over $60,000 for information to the whereabouts of 15-month-old Evelyn May Boswell. Well, sadly, last Friday, remains were found on the property related to a family member. Today, the Federal Bureau of Investigation announced that the remains were those of Evelyn May Boswell. They did not release the cause of death, and they said they would not do that, at least not now, and I can understand why. Um, when they found the child, what Evelyn says she had on last is what that child had on when they found the remains. And so the medical examiner positively identified that that was the 15-month-old child that's missing, that is now dead. I don't know what's going on, but our kids are under attack. It seems like nobody gives a damn. Nobody's speaking out against it. I think laws need to be changed when it comes to mothers, a parent's period, because Maggie Boswell was the guardian of the child. The child was in her care. So if she killed her, she's responsible. If someone else took her off and killed her, she's still responsible. She's the mother. And she hindered the investigation because she kept changing her story. They didn't know what the fuck to believe. And she would laugh when she was being interviewed by the media. It's in slavery days, Fire. I know why the black slave women would kill their children once they were born. Some of them, they would cut their throats. Some of them, they would take and throw in the river and drown. And they did that. They would rather do that than let the child come up under the bullshit that they're up under right now as far as slavery is concerned. So it wasn't right, but I understood it back then. I cannot understand it now because every day I'm sharing about 5 or 6 stories. Either the child is missing, or the child has been beaten, or the child has been killed by the person who should have been loving them and protecting them. And you act like it doesn't fucking bother you. It's a joke, you know? And so they get mad when I go and I call them bitches and shit, because that's what they are to me. You know, you carry a child in your womb, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you would carry that child in your heart.
Absolutely.
So right now, unless the authorities know, we don't know who killed the child or how the child died. We do know that we're about out of time, but here's what we do know. There were so many twists and turns in this. The grandmother was involved. Her boyfriend was involved. They had a BMW that was given to them by her daughter, who don't have any goddamn money. So I don't know how the fuck she give her a BMW. But now the report is out that Hunter, who allegedly dated Maggie Boswell for a few weeks, gave them the car because it was his car. Well, that's not true. The car belongs to Melissa Hunter, I think. And so how did the mother, grandmother, and the boyfriend end up with the car? I mean, I'm sure authorities know, but I don't know. His grandmother said they knocked on her door one day and he was soaking wet. And she asked him what happened because he wanted to borrow some money. He said they was in a hotel room and the pipe burst, and that's how he got wet. And someone stole his money and they needed money to leave town. And so when the reporter asked her told her what was going on, and if she thought her grandson would be involved in something like that, the grandmother simply said, "You know, I don't know. He's so damn devilish. He might."
You know what? That there is a clue onto what and how dysfunctional that family is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a clue right there, and that goes back to how she can give conflicting stories to authorities, still be free, and no charges, no arrest, no anything. And this is a baby. So 9 times out of 10, if the baby is not kidnapped, which ain't too many people doing that kidnapping shit today, because they only want the kids they got.
Exactly.
So 9 times out of 10, we know that there's going to be some foul play. Like, we just kind of basically assume it. We just have to be certain. Okay. However, you see the difference when it becomes women and men and the law. You see, now they didn't arrest her for waiting so long to make a police report or anything like that. They didn't arrest her for not putting out an Amber Alert for a baby. They didn't arrest her for anything like that. Even when she told them conflicting stories, they didn't arrest her.
And that's
but yet she can say somebody raped them and he getting picked the fuck up.
exactly, and that's why we must address the laws that, so that it can get to a point to where it's easier for them to arrest a parent that they suspect might have some involvement in their child's disappearance or abuse or missing, or murder.
I said that the law really needs to get with all the law. See, even with foul play, a lot of times when the investigators are investigating a crime or a missing persons, they always really try to look at the people closest to the victim. Okay? Especially if they're missing. You understand what I'm saying? Or they're dead. They always try to look at the person closest to them. All right? So, what about, I'm getting off topic a little bit here, but what about if it was someone that was trafficking, sex trafficking? So why don't the law look at them people that's close to them? Because here's where it's overlaid, and just give me a few minutes to tie the hand, just give me a few minutes to get going. But see, with our Taylor situation, they try to charge them with trafficking, these young girls. And these parents brought the girls to them. Okay? And yet, nobody is looking at the parents. They have not been arrested with the parents yet.
Come on!
Maybe nobody arrested the parents. Why don't we believe they start at home? This is the first line of protection that these babies and these girls and these kids are supposed to have. It's the fucking parents.
Look, you just preached. You just preached. That's it. That's it. We as parents are to protect our children like Secret Service protect the children of the President of the United States. You do not leave room for error. You do not do it. But when you should be teaching your child about stranger danger, you are the stranger danger. And we need warning signs that this might not be a good parent, that something might be going on with this child, because there are warning signs. We just don't know what they are. And since we don't know what they are, Spitting Five, then we'll miss them all day long. When she wrote that post in September, she talked about how much of a blessing Evelyn was to her, that she make her want to do better in life. And when I read it, I immediately said she was setting the stage for killing her child. Because I've seen it too many times before. So if I go public, they'll know I love my child. You couldn't have loved your child. Your child went missing in December, and your trifling pale ass didn't say a mumbling goddamn word. And when the child was reported missing, it wasn't Megan that did it. So she didn't give a fuck. Laws have to be changed to make it easier to arrest monsters, because she's not a mother, she is a monster. Whether she directly was involved with the death of her child, that low-down, trifling, insignificant bitch should be charged with murder. It's just as simple as that. You are to protect the child.
It's just as simple. I don't understand how, if I'm married to you, and I come up missing and dead, you're not going to believe you, because the first thing they will do is think of the baby.
That's it.
Why do you do that shit with the damn women, or the parents of these babies of these girls?
That's it.
And sex trafficking, because parents do sex traffic their children.
Well, about the goddamn low-life, trifling, pimping ass parents who pimped their daughters out to R. Kelly if he did it, who was the highest bidder. They treated their daughters like nothing but fucking hoes. They were pimped.
I don't understand this. My thing is, you talk about enterprise and they did all this and this and that. But here's my thing. And this is just how I feel about the law. When it comes to kids and young people, it's all or nothing. I'm not getting no immunity. I need everybody that's involved or everybody that's
That's it.
I'm not going to get tired. You the biggest celebrity, I'm going to get you.
That's it. That's it.
Everybody's going to jail or everybody's free. Some of that.
That's it. You know what? We said this last week, and you and I talk about it a lot. If I'm the prosecutor, I don't give a fuck what you said right now. I want to hear it. But here's what I want to know. Why you didn't sound the fucking alarm back then? Now, you're testifying for the state, okay? That's wonderful. But here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to work out no goddamn deal with you whatsoever because your ass knew about it. You're either going to tell the fucking truth or I'm going to lock your goddamn ass up too. It's as simple as that. It's impossible if R. Kelly did this for him to have pulled this off without any involvement from his assistants, managers, bodyguards, and other people.
That's what I've been telling everybody. I said that. I said, look, they give everybody immunity. So if I was a juror, he's not guilty.
Come on.
They give him the shit, he gets to walk too.
That's it.
It doesn't go that way.
It don't. It don't. It don't.
We're supposed to be protecting our youth.
That's it. So everybody's going to walk. R. Kelly is the only one that's going to go to jail for this, right? We are not going to hold the parents responsible. We're not going to hold his managers and assistants responsible. Bullshit. No deal. Either you're going to testify or I'm going to lock your ass up. Simple as that. I don't give a fuck. I'm going home.
That's it. I'm going to home. And not only that, you took her, you signed her over.
Come on.
You knew that this was happening.
Come on.
You on videotape and on platforms I said, well, I wouldn't have pressed charges if you would have gave my boy a record deal. Okay, bitch. Now, you're the feds and you heard this shit. Again, why aren't there any fucking bracelets on him? An extortion for your daughter is still trafficking.
As simple as that. She said on live TV that my daddy said, I want you to fuck R. Kelly. I want you to fuck R. Kelly on tape. I'm going to watch it and then I'm going to blackmail his ass. We just going to skip past that shit like she never said. We're going to skip past it. The parents going to get away scot-free. And if the parents had not released their children to R. Kelly for whatever fucking reason, then we probably wouldn't be here today. What father or mother you know will allow their 14 or 15-year-old daughter to hang around with any goddamn R&B, anybody, and you're not there? They're going to go for 2 or 3 months and you're not with them. What parent does that? A parent don't. Pimps do it all goddamn day long because it's about the almighty goddamn dog. They should be arrested.
So let's say this. Let's take this. One of the girls, she said she's 16. She had a fake ID. She went into our cousin's last trial every day, or whenever the damn court case was left. Whatever the court date. She showed that fake ID to the courthouse. She got in to see his first trial where they showed the form. Now, then she said she showed the ID to R. Kelly. Because she lied about her age and then she said, I told him the truth. Now here's my thing. If the courthouse who enforces the law,
come on,
sets the law, does all these things for the law, couldn't identify a fake ID and let her in, how the hell do you hold R. Kelly responsible?
Come on now.
That shit is not making sense, people. And you can still have people say, I just think he guilty. Priceless. You know, you just can't just do this to people because you just don't see them go to jail for your mistakes.
Fix it. That's it. And that's what it is.
That's what we do, y'all. Like, y'all are literally really wake up. This is not, and it doesn't matter if you black or white. I spoke on Harvey Weinstein too. We don't do this. You will not want your damn freedom to be taken on an allegation. Everybody that accuses somebody of something is not always telling the truth. Just
That's it.
they don't
You know, I say it all the time. Just because a person has been accused of committing a crime does not necessarily mean that they have committed that crime. They have been accused. But most people.
If that was the case, we wouldn't have the Innocence Project.
Exactly.
Just think about it.
Exactly. You know, and most people will believe a lie before they believe the truth. And so.
And that's what's wrong with us. We gotta change people. We don't want no goddamn woman just to sit up there and say, "Oh, Lord, it's going to be." We need to go back to getting food. We need to go back to getting food because this just falls.
You know what? Exactly, and I mean, a lot of things need to be looked at. You shouldn't be allowed to take a settlement money wise. It's either criminal or not. It's simple as that. It's as simple. It's as simple as that. Because if you take the fucking money and he did all this shit to you, what does that do? I mean, does it help your emotion, physical? I mean, does it get you back in?
This is not prostitution. There's no longer rape then. If you took the fucking money, it's nothing. It's consensual now.
And I know you know this already, but the majority of the people that said R. Kelly did this and did that, they never went to the police. They called high-priced attorneys and got them involved. They didn't want R. Kelly to go to jail. They wanted R. Kelly's money. It's just as simple as that. R. Kelly has a career over 30 years, and only about 4 or 5 women come forth alleging this, alleging that. You look at how
stadiums of women's section.
Exactly. Now you watch. It don't make any goddamn sense. All the 5 fucking women.
Come on.
Harvey Weinstein ugly ass had 80 old ugly women.
Because they know he had more money.
Come on. But you got a handful of women. You know how many. I always go back and I say it over and over again to what R. Kelly told Gail. Me kidnap somebody? Basically, he was saying, I'm R. Kelly. They'll kidnap my ass before I kidnap them.
Absolutely.
Now,
and then what you got to pay attention to, everybody in this goddamn case with R. Kelly, besides him, have a criminal past.
Come on.
Including the fucking girl's attorneys. Come on, people. Wake the fuck up. If y'all don't get mad at this shit, I have to see it for y'all sick.
Exactly. You know, I agree. Before I get out of here, let's just say I love R. Kelly music. I still listen to it. R. Kelly has a song out. It's called Bad Man. Now I'm gonna go back. Yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah, I play it every day. I'm gonna go back to the shitting in the cup before we leave. Now, if R. Kelly asked you to shit in the cup and you said yes, you tooted your ass up. R. Kelly stood there with a camera and filmed you shitting in the cup. And after you got through, R. Kelly told you to eat the shit. And you ate the shit. Let me say this. R. Kelly, if you listen, I'm not mad at you. I'd like to shake your goddamn hand because indeed you are a bad man. You're a bad man. If you can make somebody do that shit and keep quiet for fucking years, R. Kelly, you're a bad man. You're a bad man.
That's right. Because at that point, you can't even get mad at him.
Come on. I got to shake his hand.
That's why you ain't his fault anymore.
Come on. I mean.
If he sit up there and make you eat your shit.
Come on.
And people come out for me and they want to be like, I am so glad because I feel like I know that I have a right.
Come on.
Just can't we gonna bullshit and I'm just gonna believe it because it's on TV. I sit up there and was like, okay, so you need to tell me. He told you to shit in the cup, which I don't understand how you did it anyway, because you know what I'm saying, I got my routine down pat when I used to bathroom. But anyway, he told you to shit in the cup and you ate it. No good, no nice, you ain't had no black eyes, you ain't got no teeth on missing, no nothing. And then you stayed after that. And
did you ever find out, did she put salt and pepper on it, or it was just all natural?
No, I had that at all. But somebody said she mixed it in with some food. to show him how much she loves him. I have no idea.
For my man. Look, R. Kelly said, people, use your common sense.
That's right.
Use your common sense. That's it. We're not saying he's guilty. We're not saying he's innocent, but use your common sense. It's just as simple as that. You can't try to impose justice on one end and you, the system, committing injustice on the other end just because it's personal that you convict this individual. And even if R. Kelly is found guilty because R. Kelly is guilty, then so be it. But remember this, just because the gavel goes down in the courtroom, that does not always mean justice has been served.
That's right.
It's this.
That's right.
Spend time.
I tell people now, don't let them put your means in situations. All of these are your means. All of them. You know what I'm saying? That is still, I don't care how alternative life is today in America. It all starts with one man and one woman.
That's it.
Don't let the courts and the media tell you what to believe. Don't let the law do what they want to do to your men. And don't allow it to be agreed with these women put your men in jail. Because after they get through with the rich, they're going to come for average men who don't have the money. Because they're going to build more prisons, and that's how they're going to get free labor. It's all starting off at the beginning. We think that they're just going after rich men. No, it's going to trickle on down.
Come on.
It's going to trickle on down. So for those who want to get entertained and think, oh, it ain't happening to them, it's cute. No, you need to be upset. This is the time when you need to be upset because then you have tokens. And you have token blacks that's literally selling out black for recognition and everything else for their own personal agenda. You got Oprah and Gail behind a lot of this shit, especially in Chicago. Okay, but they won't speak of it. You know what I mean? Gail has not yet apologized to Kobe's family.
And she probably
has not yet done it.
She probably never will.
Oprah has not yet apologized to the Jackson family or to even Russell Simmons. You understand what I'm saying? So you guys have to understand, these women were exposed. They were exposed because all of them were exposed. Gail was seen taking a picture with Michael Avenatti and Harvey Weinstein. But she won't speak on Harvey Weinstein, but she damn sure make sure she spoke on R. Kelly. And
see, they're just black women with white agendas. It's just as simple as that. She even went so far as to say, I think it was Charlie Rose, she called Matt Lowry, I think, to check on it, asked was he okay. I think it was in one of them she called, and he said, yes, I'm okay. She said, good, because I worry about you. I wonder if she called Vanessa and asked was she okay because she worried about her because she just lost her child and her husband. Right. I wonder if she done that.
Right. If you try to slander her late husband's legacy by asking those inappropriate damn questions to his best friend. So my thing is, we got to do better as a whole culture of people.
I agree.
We got to do better. We can't let them take them down without a damn fight.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
You know, because I like to tell people, I was like, this is at a time when people talk about, well, I think he's innocent, I think he's guilty. Listen, I don't care if you think he's innocent or guilty. It's the way that they go about doing shit. You know, just take him down off the damn home saying he did so wrong and then took money and everything. No, wait a minute, we ain't gonna do that. And this is the thing that I've been trying to tell my people. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be upset. Like, these people tell you to your face, F you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
like, even in time, and see, I'm not even heavy with none of the political parties anymore. But even in a time where it was black rights, or we fought for civil rights and all day, that has been struck down. You know, the alternative life, the LGBTQ, has got reparations before your ass.
Come on. And
they're powerful.
That's it.
They are so powerful, people. And that's what I've been trying to tell black people. If we become powerful like we used to be, all these movements will be flushed away. We are the original people.
And
we got more power than you think we got.
And that's what a lot of blacks don't know, and they need to know that they have a lot of power and stuff. The media will portray you how they want you to be received in public. Same media that makes you will also turn around to be the same media that breaks you. TMZ. Before we get out of here, when we was really covering the R. Kelly case, I did a piece on R. Kelly. He was scheduled to perform somewhere. He showed up 2 hours late, and I think he sung for a few minutes or whatever. And the tickets was $100, $150, something like that. And so people were pissed because of what R. Kelly did or didn't do. Well, we verify stories that we look into, but sometimes we don't, depending upon who's putting it out. Like the CNN or TMZ, we don't. We know they're telling the truth. So I piggyback off of TMZ, and everybody else went behind TMZ. Well, a few days after I did that piece, one of the promoters that had booked R. Kelly to perform at the club emailed me and said he had been watching the show, but I got it wrong that night. And he left his number, and I called. It was a very pleasant conversation. He said, "That's not what happened." He said TMZ was there. TMZ didn't get it wrong by accident. TMZ got it wrong on purpose. And then I made a public apology to R. Kelly because R. Kelly was not there to perform. It was simply a meet and greet. That's all it was, And so it's just how they want to paint you to be. So just because mainstream media says something, don't consider it to be written in stone. Listen, I love you.
The smaller bloggers will have it all more accurate than any other big media outlet.
Exactly.
Because we actually do the research and stuff like that. So you need to spread the word. Like, if you really want the truth, Google it on YouTube. Somebody out there, they got 100 damn subscribers. They'll tell you that's the truth more so than the people that's on mainstream media. Trust and believe.
Look, when they come on my Injustice page and they say, well, that's not what ABC said. I said, well, carry your ass over there and keep listening to ABC. Why in the fuck you over here if they telling the truth and I'm lying? We've been programmed. It's in our blood to believe mainstream media and our local media. Dana Glover, Bennett, J Rock, Nunn, all of you. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Spitting Fire, I love you big time. You are simply.
Thank you all. Make sure y'all over there and subscribe to Spitting Fire.
Yeah, go subscribe to her channel, and we'll see you all next Wednesday. But it may be before the end with the coronavirus day and stuff. But thank you all for y'all genuine support for the show. Remember, verify before you go talking about something, putting it out. Harvey Weinstein, don't drop the soap. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Spend 5. Thank you, baby.